Welcome to Maximum Blackness, where we're max to the black. I am your host, Annie Herb, and this is my co host, Testa. This
What's
is
up?
episode one, and the topic is if black men change, will the women follow? Don't forget to subscribe. We are on Facebook and YouTube under Maximum Blackness, and we're going to get right into it today, Testa. So, if black men change, will the women follow?
Hell yeah. Some of them. I can't speak for all of them, but women who understand that the man should, in some way, shape, and form, lead the way, the right way, women will follow
Yes, the right way, which
the right
means
way.
that men have to change their way of thinking as individuals to lead the right way. So,
Yep.
with that being said, this whole attitude form of I am a man and I can be free to do what I want and my value still stands as a man no matter what I do, that has to change. That's a disgusting attitude, in my opinion.
It is.
It doesn't show leadership. Men are allowed to be really messy with their sperm, but yet a woman with a high body count or multiple kids, she can't be wiped up. But a man with multiple baby mamas is just as ran through as they feel a woman is.
True.
So that is
It,
how I feel about that. Men should change their mindset of because I'm a man, I can. It's acceptable that I act in these ways, and it's okay.
that is very true. The maturity for both the men and the women is a major factor in that. Even more, you having someone equally yoked with you is real. Like both of y'all got to be on the same page, have the same morals, well, I ain't gonna say expectations, but a sense of how the home is going to run.
Hmm.
Both of you should be on the same page for that man to lead the way and the woman to be able to follow.
So to get
So
on
to
the
get
same page,
paid,
one must
one
first
must first
direct their way
direct
of
their way.
thinking. So that brings us right back to the beginning. Because in order for us to get on the same page to begin with, you have to already be walking on this path of okay, I'm a leader and I'm going to act as so, and I'm going to be in this position so that my woman can be in a good position in our home, so that she can take care of the kids and I can lead as a man is supposed to.
Mm-hmm. He must make the woman feel secure, respected, protected, loved, appreciated, and more, just as much as the woman should make the man feel appreciated, respected, encouraged, sexually compatible, because, men want to be all into it. Oh, I think there's a lot of
Women
women who
too.
want
It
to,
is. I
yeah.
have been doing a lot of research lately, and it's a lot of women too.
Just, they got to be able to understand each other, what one person want coming into the game. That's why, women can say they want a man to take care of them majority of the time. But what
Hmm.
does that take care of consist of for that man to be able to lead the way? Does that mean the man pay all the bills majority of the time and the woman sit back and relax, parlay, not have a job? Or does the woman supposed to pay tribute to the bills and
Who says it can't be a mixture of all of those? Because everybody's relationship can't be the same. If everybody's relationship was the same, it'd be just boring as hell, and I don't think anybody would want it. Like, yeah, everybody wants the same relationship, as far as having, a spouse that's going to be there for them, and we're together, and this is the light that we're standing in. Um, but everybody's relationship, it can't be the same. We have to be different. There has to be some households that's ran where it's 50-50. Everybody, some men aren't making enough to pay all the bills, and some women can contribute to the household because ain't nothing wrong with them. You can contribute and be a 50-50. There's nothing wrong with 50-50. A man shouldn't have to take care of all of you. But if that's what he promised you from the beginning, then that's what he should uphold to. Now, if he
true?
starts struggling, she should get a job and help that man.
Very much.
She
Because
really should. Every relationship is going to be different. What I think everyone should be focused about in the same is what we were saying, as in being equally yoked and having each other's back. and we're going to be this wholesome couple together, and we're going to have babies and try to grow together. Even if you don't have babies, you still just want someone that's there for you, and that's your number one, and they're going to show up for you. Showing up
Yeah,
is really important.
your best friend, your go-to person, your shoulder to cry on, your everything.
Yeah, everything. Pretty much that's what that person ends up being, whether you want to admit it or not. So if men would just alter that attitude, I feel like a lot more women will be willing to follow behind a man. And they have to realize, not only does it take time because you still working on yourself as a man, but she's working on herself as a woman, and you don't want to clash, you want to work together. Does that make sense?
True. Yes, it do.
Okay.
Do you think, not don't you, do you think because women are more capable of making more money these days, that is what plays a big part in why women won't follow men so quickly? Like, do you think women would need to feel that the man can contribute to make them feel more secure? So then, if the woman at some extent loses their job, the man can uphold, or do you think that's not part of the equation? Because
Black
women
people.
have a lot more these days. We not back
So
in
it's
the
not
50s.
about the money though. We got to stop making everything about the money. So yeah, it's cool if she's making a lot of money. Cool, be a big bank. A man that's really secure doesn't mind his wife making money, especially if we're making it together and we're getting things done. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't just be making all the money and you think you run the household because you make all the money, and that your husband is a peon because he makes less than you. That's not cool. That's why you have to really love the person you with. Now, it's a difference from loving the person you with for who they are and loving them for the stuff they have and all that other stuff in between. Because it shows when stuff like that starts happening. It really does shows, because a man could be taking care of stuff for several years, like you was just saying, and then as soon as something happens, if she does decide to get a job and start working in this, that, and the third, she feels more as if she's playing the man role now than he is, because she's now making more money. That's not acceptable in my book. I feel it should run deeper than that with your partner. You guys have to be connected pretty much to the soul
Oh
to make
yeah.
stuff like that work. Because at some point in time, let's say two people that's doing 50-50, one of us gets sick, one of us loses a job. Are you like, now just because you're paying all the bills for the moment, am I now less of a person than you, or am I still that same equal being that I was when we was going 50-50 on these bills? You're supposed to have my back no matter what.
We should be
So
able to go through this fire together.
no matter how many times it happened, and I'm not saying that it should happen every year, every week, every month, but sometimes people get another string of losing jobs, and if that person can easily get another job, or they're working on getting a job, I feel you should work with them, encourage them. And a lot of people start businesses these days. There's a lot of people that done lost their jobs and they trying to get another job when they probably could have done started their own business by now and be making, I ain't gonna say a lot of money, but a small business can start generating the more you put into it. And a lot of people
That is
make businesses out of nothing these days, but that ain't the point. The point is, no matter who makes the most money, that doesn't make that person more superior, or you should feel like because you make the money, you make the rules. In the words, I believe that's what Monique said on her stand up. You just because you make the money, you don't make the rules. We supposed to work together. And when this man leaves, even though he's leading the household and he's the one that's supposed to set the tone, pretty much that's what he sets, the tone for the household. You're still his equal being, but you're going to follow his lead and assist him. You're supposed to assist your husband and be there at his aid and need, and he's going to be there for you in the same way. Does that make sense? I think I felt like I make sense.
you made very much sense. He the head, you the body.
Yeah, he's the head and you're
Mm-hmm.
the body. Because a lot of people feel like when you say lead, it's like, oh, he does make the rules for everything, and he's the one. He's like he the last. And usually the wife is really the last say so, but still, he's the head of the household. But don't think that that woman isn't just as powerful, because if he can't do, she can, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's why I feel like most we should be out here working or have something that's going on the side, so that when that man does, if he does need help, you're there to help and assist. What's the
Of
point of
course.
being married or being with somebody if you're just going to watch them fail? Especially if he or she is taking care of you. Don't watch them fall. Help them back up. That
Help
sounds
them back
reasonable.
up. Oh
That's the
yeah.
that's the morally right thing to do.
You're supposed to encourage each other. You are. So it comes with dignity and staying away from being ignorant when it comes to allowing a man to lead the way or and the woman follow. Like I think I wasn't mature enough at a young age to say as much as I knew a man's supposed to lead the way, but my maturity got in the way of allowing that to happen. Because I wasn't mature. I was not mature enough. I was very immature
Okay.
to allow that.
So, Tester, you have one of those backgrounds, and we're not going to delve into it right now because it's your story to tell. But you have one of those backgrounds where you was already taking care of a lot of stuff on your own at a young age. So, therefore, for a man to come in, this is what we're just talking about. For a man to just come in and you to allow him to lead, he has to show you something. He has to break a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He has to come in and make sure that he's going to show up and be there for you, and he's going to, yeah, he taking care of, he's making stuff, y'all making stuff equally. What's the word I'm looking
Decisions together,
for?
making sure things work.
Y'all are making stuff equally easier for each other. Don't come in here
Mm-hmm.
to hurt me. We're supposed to help each other.
Mm-hmm. And it's still that way. Like I think that's what a lot of women know
Mm-hmm.
or people in general, they already have so much going on, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. It's for a person to come along and say they add into that person's life. They making
Mm-hmm.
things easier or better to make sure that it's growth, a foundation in the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and let's build on it. But it's so hard for people to find that other side when you already, been through the mill
Mm-hmm.
and then saying, "Hey, this next person, he gonna be there. He gonna do what he need to. He see what I'm going through. I shouldn't have
It
to
takes
tell
time.
him." Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
do take time. Do you think you
Well,
should have to tell a man how to be a man?
no, you shouldn't have to tell him how to be a man, but sometimes men weren't shown how to be men, so those they do need help. Just like every woman wasn't raised to, she
Be
didn't
a woman.
properly raised to know how to be a woman. It was a lot of stuff that we grew up and didn't know, and like we're just learning a lot just because we weren't taught it or shown when we were younger. So it's some
That
people
is
just
true.
weren't given the tools, and that's what a lot of the way that we were brought up and a lot of the experiences that we have as people in our life that affects us being adults, that affects our relationships with our friends, with our wives, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, cousins, what it affects everything, how we react to stuff out in the world, at how we do stuff like the way you raised up. We need to admit it affects you still as an adult, and until you deal with it, it's going to affect you.
That is true, which has to be taken into consideration when you meet people because who they are when you meet them and where they come from will play a big part in that relationship. And it takes for both parties to be open for change
Yep.
and actually change within the relationship for a woman to follow that man or a man to acknowledge what that woman needs. Um, it makes a big difference. You are so right.
That's why you gotta like and love people for the right reasons. Don't just be putting up with people because they got money or because it's something beneficial. That's gonna always bite you in the butt at some point. But it is what it is. But let's stop teaching men that it's okay for them to be cheaters. It's so they can. It's not meant for men to be with one woman, and stop telling them that they can't be that leader that we need them to be, because the more we show them what not to be, that's the more we're going to create. We need more men to show them that they can be good outstanding husbands, good outstanding fathers, and be good leaders in the community. We just don't have enough of the that black people have never been enough of given enough of the right resources for anything, and we haven't, like our older generations, them coming out of that slavery, and then it's just trickling down to the, you know whenever that happened, all the way down to when our mom was born in 65, so she even went up, she was going through a lot of that slavery mentality with her parents, and Probably them going through theirs with theirs before, and it just trickled down, kept trickling. So all of us is still getting affected
Yeah,
a
slavery
lot.
wasn't too long ago,
It
and
damn
how
sure
homes
didn't long
were,
ago.
raised to be, how you were raised to be in the home back then. It's still, our generation to say, okay, you gonna respect me. You gonna make sure that this household got bills paid. We won't, it's still those morals, expectations of two human beings to make sure that house runs right. It is. This new generation, I think it started a long time ago, actually, where women just started allowing things from men to happen. And then
Yeah,
instead of us saying from the get go, no, you're not going to treat me this way from day one, because how you start a relationship off is how it's going to be.
because they was paying them bills. The granny was like, "I'm gonna let him do what he want to do and cheat in peace," what y'all like to call it these days, and that ain't how it is.
Hmm.
If y'all feel like
Hmm.
I can get out here and make all this money, then don't sit there and be cheated on because you don't want to pay your own damn bills. That just don't make no sense to me. But if you
At
want it,
all.
I love it. That's what black people love to tell you, even though they don't like it. But go on,
Yeah.
bad self.
Us women or us people, because all men ain't the same. I must say,
Mm-mm.
all men is not the same. We just gotta
A
pull out the
good
good
bunch
ones.
of the bad ones.
Hmm. Just out here running rampant. But for the decent part of society, um, I think that people will be in a more better position when they put their foot down. They make sure that they say, you ain't gonna treat me this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're
Yes,
not
because
gonna,
men do what you allow them to do. People do what you allow them to do to you.
yeah, yeah,
Boundaries.
boundaries.
Talk about that. Boundaries. You
What
ain't like my
was?
boundaries earlier. Boundaries.
No, that's a whole nother level of boundaries. we when we with our significant other, we gotta live with these. You ain't gotta live with them boundaries we were talking about earlier. But you have to live with this boundary. You gotta bring this person into your home at some point and say, now we gotta create boundaries. Why not create them boundaries from the beginning?
Yes, you should create boundaries from the beginning and show people who you are from the beginning. We need to stop showing up as our sponsors and show up as who we are.
Yes.
Because
Like it makes a
that's how you
difference.
start patterns. Whatever you let that man play with on night one, he gonna keep playing with it. He gonna keep pushing
Playing with
that
it.
button.
Yep. They are going to do as they see fit because you have allowed it. So we need to stop allowing. I mean, hey, no judgment. People don't mind doing things on the first day and thinking it's gonna work later on and some type of change. But I
Hmm.
think it's been showed that things don't change so easily once you've allowed it. The moment it's almost like calling somebody a bitch, a bitch. We're just gonna
Mm,
say the word, okay? Once you call somebody that in a relationship, you've opened doors for it to continue to be said throughout the
hmm.
remaining of that relationship, and
And some people don't have no self control.
none. Them the doors I try not to open because I've learned my lesson. Like, no,
But once again, you can't control what happens to you. You can control how you react to
how you react to it, you are your own person. You are right. Hmm. I'm working on that still.
it.
Take
It
some
takes
practice.
time.
Cause it still be in you. Even when you change, it's almost like a button just need to be pushed. Like,
You have to switch
ding.
it off and try
Mm,
to keep it off. It can be switched back on, but try to keep it off as much as possible.
yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all about my true self. Wow thing. Tester. That's why I'm called Tester. Tester.
We want y'all to test it.
Tester. Yes. See what result you get.
Testa likes to debate too. So if anybody wants to debate with Testa, she is definitely up to the task because
All
Testa has
here
a lot to
for,
say.
as we get further along, because this is a really nice day for us to go through this nice conversation.
Mm-hmm. Nice
But
Friday evening.
we be debating, and when the debates get popping, y'all gonna really be like, whoa. Do people really think this way? Yes, of
Yes,
course.
people think this way. We trying to give y'all the real. We want to educate black people. We want to keep us together as one. We want us to do better as black people. So that's what maximum blackness is all about. And that's what we aim to do. So even if we just touch one black person every time we write our magazine or post the podcast, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
One day we're gonna touch all y'all.
One day, hopefully, we can touch the whole nation, or hopefully, we can get our new generation coming up to start back being on the move of being more vigilant in the progression of black people and in more ways than just trying to fight the white man, because we're trying to be beyond that at this point and do things for ourselves. But we talked about a lot of that in our magazine. Catch up on some of the issues. We'll tell you. They're actually posted on Facebook. There's three of them out now. We wrote three magazines now, and we're coming out with the fourth one this month, hopefully by the end of next week. But that's, other things that we'll get into. Back to the point of conversation here. I think we pretty much said it quite a few times while we've been talking. We done went over it, talked about a few other things around it. Black men, you want us sisters to start following you, get some patience, change that mindset of thinking, get counseling. We all can use counseling. Of course, it's hard to admit, but therapy helps us a lot. Even if you do self therapy or start off with self therapy, it helps a lot. There's a lot of things that we can do to just be better. But if we can start getting our men that wants to be husbands and good fathers to just think in a better light, we will have more women that's willing to get married and settle down and have real families these days. And I know it's a lot of men on the fence too, because it's a lot of stuff that I hear men say as to why they're on the fence about getting married. But it's the right thing to do for our communities, honestly. It's too many of us getting married to other races, giving our bodies and our sperms, our babies to mixed generations. And we need full birth black
Participation.
people. We
Mm-hmm.
need full black people. We really do, because we need to keep our nation strong and we need to keep our children on our side of the spectrum. And I know that sounds harsh and I know it sounds like a lot of things, but it's a lot of things in that we're going to get into. And we're just all about the black here.
Stay
But I think
tuned.
this is coming to an end at this point. And Testa, thank you for being here with me. I love
You're
having these
welcome.
conversations. We had a good conversation before we started recording today. And, this is the first podcast that we're doing. So, of course, we can't expect it to be horrible.
It was good.
But we did it. I feel like it was a good conversation. And Maximum Blackness is going to be about educating black people, as I said, and getting us to be together and having black families. So that's what we're talking about, and that's what we're doing here. Check us out on Facebook, Maximum Blackness. We're Max to the Black. YouTube, Twitter, Maximum Blackness. Follow us, like us, subscribe to us. Testa, do you have any
I want to see the
social
comments.
media?
Like drop some comments.
Yes, drop us some comments. Debate with Testa. She wants to talk. We love to talk.
What y'all want us to talk about? Like
Who y'all want us to talk to? Maybe.
how crazy you want us to get. And after we get umpteen followers, we'll figure out what them followers do.
And just tell us what you think. All together. We don't care if you tell us it was trash. We got a lot of white people online telling us we trash right now. Telling us we racist, actually. So,
Up under the magazines, yeah.
we got a lot of that going on. But it's all good.
But any attention is better than no attention. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. And remember, we are Max to the Black. Stay black.
Black.
Next time, I am your girl, Annie Yerb, with the word. And Testa.
We out.